You're listening to My Worst Date podcast. And oh my God, we're going to start off with an intro. I'm Christina.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Courtney.
New voices. We want to...
Who's that? Who are those mysterious ladies? I think it's us. So exciting.
We want to introduce you guys to the lovely hosts of Private Parts Unknown. Well, you guys want to tell us about your podcast?
Sure. It's a podcast that explores love and sexuality around the world.
We have been to Helsinki. We have been to Mexico City. When we're here, we do kind of interesting little series like men talking about abortion, or we did a really cool immersive episode where it was strippers putting on this Raising Hell event.
Because they're unionizing. They're unionizing, and the union's called Soldiers of Pole. So we kind of covered their fundraising, and you can kind of get an experience.
Yeah, you kind of feel
event.
like you were there, even though they didn't allow cameras in there. But it was fun. And then we are about to go to Tokyo. So,
Oh my
We're
goodness.
so excited.
That's
Dude.
really exciting.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
So
I've-
jealous.
have any of you guys been?
No.
No.
Anyone
We
who's
haven't
been,
either.
I'm like, okay, tell me everything you know.
Yeah, all the tips. You know, we're trying to get freaky over there. So
Yeah, I mean,
let us know.
Yeah.
I think you'll be successful. My friend who loves Tokyo and has gone like several times, he came back the first time that he went when he was like 17, you know, and he was like a 17-year-old boy, and he was like, they have porn floors in like
Yeah.
every building. He's like, every
What?
building has just like a floor where you can buy porn.
They're super freaky.
Wow.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
addition to the amazing food and just
Culture
in
Yeah.
general.
We are also just trying to be like, take us to a host club, take us to a hostess club.
Yeah.
Like, let us know what's
I want
going
to
on.
check out this Love Hotel. Yeah.
Do they actually have, or is that just like a weird fake thing that I heard that they have like vending
gonna
machines?
say the vending machines?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that real?
real.
Is it real? Where you can get underwear and vending machines?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
real.
I heard that too.
Oh.
Okay.
We're about to see how real, but yeah, it's supposed to be legit.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh my God, that's going to be
I'm excited to
Y'all
listen to
want
that
a pair of
episode.
underpants?
we will bring
What is
you
that,
a
like a
souvenir.
Yeah, it'll be really fun to go through customs. And they're like, no, I'm like, no, that's not my dirty underwear. That's present dirty underwear I'm bringing to my friend.
It's an entire carry-on, just full.
used underwear.
You have to sit on it to zip it up. You're like, oh no.
Nice. How long are you guys going to be there?
A week. Yeah, we're going in early February. So
That's awesome.
It's going to be like kind of before Valentine's Day, which is a really interesting, from what we've been told, a really interesting holiday in Japan. One of my favorite things that I heard about was sympathy chocolates. So apparently if you're not in a relationship on Valentine's Day, then the women bring like chocolate for the office, and how it translates the name of the chocolate is like sympathy chocolate. Ooh, which is so brutal. It's so funny.
brutal.
They're like, you're single and sad.
You're going to need this.
And also it's reversed where it's like women, I think, approaching men on Valentine's Day and not the other way.
So it's like a Sadie Hawkins dance.
It is.
Ah,
It is.
interesting.
So we're excited to talk to people about that.
Oh, cool.
You know, I don't know why I never really thought about like other countries doing holidays like Valentine's Day. It feels like such a specifically American greeting card holiday that
Right.
I've just never even thought like,
yeah,
what
that's
that must
true,
be like, you
right?
know?
It's not necessarily. Is it an international holiday?
No, I think it's globalization.
Yeah.
Just people.
But it is based on that Irish saint.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Valentine. Yeah.
So that makes sense why it would be international.
Maybe.
Because Catholicism is.
Yeah.
There you go.
But like,
Yeah, I
This is
get that
important
logic.
date
Yes.
stuff, you guys.
Yes.
I like it.
yeah, we're really going off the reservation.
Okay. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of why we brought you here.
Why we gathered here today.
This is actually an intervention. And yeah,
Oh,
no,
fuck. You offered me a White Claw earlier as a trick. Huh?
it was.
It's actually just water in mine.
There's water in here. Sorry.
But wait, first I have a question for you.
Yes.
How did you all land on who was first obsessed with the first dates? How did this? What's your genesis?
Oh, our origin story. Yes.
Be cute.
Yeah. Do you want to take it?
Sure. We have a really large friend group who are all paired up, and I was previously paired up as well. And then me and the ex-hubs broke up.
Were
And-
you legit married?
Yeah. For like Well,
love
married
that
for
you did, like, double
7.
Deuces, I know. I wish we were filming that.
I was like, what?
We were married for like 7 years, together for 10. So I hadn't actually been dating in like over a decade. So I started going on these dates, and I was telling these guys like about, I mean, I made a guy cry once.
Like in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like you met him and he was
What
like,
did you say?
No, what did he say? It was so weird. He came out of nowhere. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. And then it was like a Tinder match. And so the first thing he says to me is like, so do you feel a spark or what? And I'm like,
That's a no.
Right.
also
Nice to
so
meet you.
awkward. And I get like really giggly when things are really super, super awkward. Like, don't take me to bad improv because I'll start crying. It's so funny to me. So I started laughing.
The cringe.
Now I
Definitely
am
not.
definitely going to go see improv with you.
Oh, I'm the like. Oh my god, it's so uncomfortable. But so yeah, I start laughing, and his chin starts to quiver, and his eyes like well up, and his face gets really red, and then tears start to fall, and then that's even funnier.
Oh no!
You're laughing at this man crying.
Yeah, in a
Oh
coffee
my
shop.
God.
He's
Like-
just realizing he's never gonna meet his mate, and you're just dying.
Oh my god,
And stitches.
so savage, dude.
Dude, I felt awful, and then I just like crab walked out of there. I was like, with like
Did you
latte.
double deuce him on the way out?
like bye. So
and didn't he text you like a bad poem?
oh
after?
yeah, he texted me like a Billy Collins poem, like it was like stanza, and I was
A
like,
text,
ooh.
which means he must have had that saved in his notes.
Yeah.
Like he just
So
copy pasted that.
He fell in love
Bad.
with your profile, and then he showed up, and it was not.
He was like, she made me cry. She's the one.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm gonna send her that poem. Really
I've been
seal
saving
the deal.
What if he sent that poem to multiple girls? Like that was
Oh,
a
100%.
This
She's done
is
it more
thing.
than once. 100%. You don't just have that on like.
He's
That
probably
is
got
so
file
sad
folders. Yeah.
to send that same poem to do it more than once, not learn from your first
Oh
mistake.
my
I
god!
know.
Can I say though that the idea of saving some quality content that you can reuse, smart.
I mean, I do that. I do that with
If I was
nudes.
dating,
Right.
you know, I would be like, I'm tired of writing the same message. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
here's a good one.
Exactly right. With nudes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I've got 3, and most of this town has seen them now. It's like, took this for you, boo. Boop, just now. Don't.
I've also been out of the dating pool because I've been with my man for like 14 years.
yeah.
Same.
But I do feel like when I hear what people do when they date, I'm like, I don't think I would be better. Like,
No.
I think me just saying that I would save things to reuse with people, yes, I would be a piece of shit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's
yeah.
standard, especially
Yes.
with the nudes. But the poem just
Yeah.
feels like it should come from somewhere
Real.
real.
Yeah.
I have this image that this guy probably has files, like folders in his phone that are like
100%.
different. Like he's got like a Lord Byron folder. You know what I mean? Just like different folders. He's like, I think she's going to be into this one.
I bet you it's actually by theme. It's like sad poem, corny poem.
Right.
You know?
He actually has a Pinterest board.
Love poem, yeah. And then he
Boards.
just goes in the folder. He's like, all right, I got to throw one of these horny poems out.
So she kept coming to us with these stories, and like one time you weren't even with us. It was just like me and Cassie. We were sitting around, we were talking about Christina's stories, and then we had another friend who jumped in and was like, "Oh, I have a crazy one that like my coworker told me, which was the most bananas one that I've
30
like,
cats.
to this day. This guy had 30 cats in his apartment, like
And no
In LA.
sheets.
No
Yes.
sheets on his bed.
no sheets on his bed. 30
Every time I
cats.
see a
Just
bed
FYI,
with no
that's out there.
sheets is the grossest thing I've ever
I
seen.
mean, and she got
Ever.
fucked on that bed with no sheets, and I'm like, honey,
That story is
Doesn't
also.
respect yourself.
that house probably smelled. I love cats, and I'm like, that house probably smelled
30.
You need to know that you're better than like hoarder dick. You know?
You do need to know. Also,
You
where
gotta
were the
set
cats?
a standard.
I've never been fucking around animals that didn't want to be kind of around the action.
So
Yeah.
you had
You gotta
60
shut
pairs
that
of
animal
eyes
out.
just like,
watching
what's
you.
up?
Oh, in the dark, they're all glowing. and
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's like truly a nightmare
Yes.
scenario.
I don't like
You're
it.
straight in the forbidden forest with this situation
shit.
happening to you. So she told us that story, and so Cassie and I were like, you know, because I have another podcast already, and like once you have one, it's like it's
addictive.
just
Yeah,
add
it's
on
like
another one.
tattoos.
So what's the
So
difference?
stupid.
Yeah,
It's like tattoos. You just keep getting more and more of them.
So I was talking to her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we should have a podcast where we just talk about bad dates.
Yeah.
And Cassie was like, yeah, like we should do that. We should get Christina on board.
Yeah.
And it just snowballed. And I think 2 weeks later, we were buying microphones. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Now you're making, worst date magic.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
actually
we've
been really
gotten-
awesome because I think that the thing that we found is that everybody does have a bad dating story. No matter who you are, no matter what, no matter where, who, what, you have a bad dating story. And it is a thing that we can commiserate together. It can bring us together. We can laugh about the crazy shit that we've been through before, and we can come out of it on the other side and again, laugh at it and sit in it together and just be, you know, support each other through the whole shit storm. And I think that it's funny because I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's for single people who are dating. But I'm like, I've been married for almost 15 years. I know a ton of people who are married who are like, I listen to it because I'm like, it reminds me why I'm with this person because I do not ever want to
I never want to go back out into
again.
that cesspool. And actually, we have some really wonderful listeners who I feel like at first people wouldn't think that they're our target demographic. Like we have a lot of older like men who listen and submit like dating stories from back. They're like, when I was dating in the
so cute.
70s, like there's
awesome.
so
That's
wild
adorable.
shit that happened.
Hey, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, yeah. And so we also have a Facebook group where everyone gets together and like shares, you know, memes and stories, and it's nice. Yeah.
How did you guys start your podcast?
Oh man, similar. I mean, I was dating, so it started as Reality Bites
Yeah.
in 2016, and because I was in the shitstorm.
That's the old name. That's the old name of
the pod when it originally
earlier
started,
version.
when it was more dating centric, and that was the inspo, and that's what we talked about. I was Tindering, and then a few months, literally as the podcast was starting, but over the first few months of the podcast, I started dating my now boyfriend. So that happened a little quick, and then I've been with him ever since. And Soph came on to the last season of Reality Bites, and then we were like, oh, we want to take this international.
I think that's
national
amazing.
and international. Yeah, because you know we love doing the stories that we do when we're in LA that are like, you know, on like kind of pertinent and topical, but at the same time we were like, we want to learn about love and sexuality other
which
places.
is so fascinating.
So interesting. You can spend your whole life studying it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's an evergreen topic too. You'll be able to talk about it forever.
And
you
it
know?
continues to evolve.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
For sure. And I think there's so much about sexuality and love that inform, or the way cultures deal with those things. They're so interrelated, and it's so interesting to see how those things play out. We've learned so much since we started.
Totally. And we've only been to a couple places.
Yeah.
And you get to travel with your friend, which is fun.
That's really fun.
It's so fun until the last day.
I heard. I was listening to the Mexico City one when you guys are like
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about getting into fights on your last day.
So funny. We're like that. We've noticed the habit. We're like, oh, let's see how Tokyo ends.
I feel like that's a big test in a relationship. Your first like trip together, like the first time you
totally.
go on a trip with somebody, and you're like, oh, I didn't see this side of you before.
I am.
You know?
I am not ready for that step yet.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm brand new.
How long have you
I'm
been
in a
with
baby
your-
relationship. A month.
Oh,
That's so cute. Enjoy
It's
it.
my first one. It's my first boyfriend post divorce. It's weird to say that word, boyfriend. My boyfriend.
That's
Did you
so
just
cute,
decide on
though.
the label?
Yeah. Like, it's been like 4 weeks
Since labeled.
Oh, you labeled right away.
Yeah, he
did come in hot.
He did come in hot.
He
He's
knew what he
coming in
wanted.
hot.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Which
Yeah.
it was good. It is good.
Did you meet
and
on the
I was
apps?
ready. Yeah. And I think I was ready too. And I wasn't. There were people that tried to put a label on it in this past couple years, and I was like, absolutely not. Wasn't ready, but I was kind of ready. I think timing plays a much bigger part in like. I think the whole soulmate notion is kind of bullshit. I think you just are like, I'm kind of done fucking around now. You want to just chill out and watch
we have that
Broadchurch?
mantra. Yeah, you want to
Yes.
socialize on the couch. We have that mantra that it's just like, the right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person.
Yep.
It's just like, even if they're right for you in every way, if like you're not ready, they're not ready, or like circumstances are such that it's just not conducive to a relationship, then it's just not going to work out.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And even still, I'm trying to throw crazy shit his way.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So yeah, now it's like,
The early relationship saboteur.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
How
I get,
fun.
yes.
How quaint and fun.
You're letting your
I'm
crazy
just
out.
sabotaging something that's great. Or at my house.
Oh, I've definitely done that. I
Well, speaking
definitely
of
did that.
sabotage, what are deal breakers for you guys?
Her thing is just she's been with her man since she was 23. She's
Yeah.
never been a real adult
Adult
I've just-
dating.
I've fucked a lot before, but I didn't date really.
Yeah.
You are
I don't think I've ever
sitch.
been on a date. I was just telling Courtney before we came here. I was like, my
I'm the
only
same
date
way.
Was with my husband, which was the first time we went out, and then we were together ever since. So
That's
I don't.
literally was my situation before my divorce. But yeah,
So this is going well for me.
you're like my worst.
No,
date
so it's
was-
been hilarious to be a person who's gone through a number of relationships since I've known her, and breakups, which I'm terrible at handling, and then was, dating and have her,
Just, hey, I'm still here.
given
I'm-
her advice that's usually sound but kind of out of touch.
Look, I'm the same way. I was with my ex-boyfriend. We got together when I was 19, and then I was like with him until I was 23, and then I was already friends with my now fiance, so we kind of just like fell into a relationship after that, and then I've just been with him ever since. So it's kind of like I've not been on the dating scene in terms of like I was not around whenever like apps were
Same.
around. So I mean, I can give you advice based on like kind of like what's worked for me, but it's not necessarily like
I mean, I don't think you need to be like dating on the apps to give someone advice unless your advice is like super specific and granular. But if your advice is like, let that motherfucker go,
Yes.
it's applicable regardless.
No,
That's
that's
usually
what I'm
my
saying.
advice.
Your
Yeah.
advice was usually good, but it wasn't the nuances of the dating.
I'm
the
just like,
app
block
stuff.
him and move on. And she's like, no, here's all these other things. I'm like, no, it's pretty simple.
That's me
Just
too.
block him
I'm
and
a
get the fuck
justifier,
out.
100%.
So, yeah.
And I'm
Same.
like you, where I'm just like,
Same.
like cut it off. I don't,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. And then she'll like,
I'm like,
she's
is he
like a
fucking
dog
around?
with a bone. She will chew on that
I
relationship
am.
for
Me
like
too.
2 years, even though it's fucking over. And you're like, can I take this away from you now? And she's like, no, I need it.
She bites your hand
I
off.
don't need it. It's making you feel worse. She's like, no. I
Kindred
hold this.
spirit. I feel the same way. Totally.
But there are still things I think for me, like when in terms of like deal breakers, there are like little things like slow walkers or loud chewers. But then there are
I make my
also
husband eat nuts like far away from me. That's truly upsetting.
my
Like he's competing to upset me.
No.
It's like so fucked up.
You're doing this on purpose, you
Yeah,
asshole.
I'm like, is this? Did
Necessary?
someone challenge you to a loud chewing contest? What is happening?
it's so funny that
like jaw popping too? My God.
I almost dated a friend, but I didn't like how he ate guacamole. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I
How
can't
did he
share
do it?
with
Please
you.
tell me.
It
I need
just
to
I
know.
couldn't share it with him because I would just be like, whatever
Was
noise
it, like,
is
slurpy?
happening.
It
It's
was like
almost
gross and slurpy.
And can
with
you
it.
imagine, like, if that's how he eats guacamole, like, how would he eat other
I
things?
know, but it is funny. It's
Just
like she has
saying.
an amazing relationship. She shouldn't have given up for the nuts, the annoying nuts chewing, but that did kill it for me in this guy.
No, I mean,
I think it can.
It can. I mean, it's funny though, like when you've been in a relationship for a long time, because God bless him if he listens to this episode, which I'm sure he will.
My
but
husband won't listen to this.
but he
He barely listens to my podcast. He's not about to. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah,
Hey,
nice.
Max, I'm cheating on you.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Spicy.
Thought it would be real fun.
all the hot takes coming out. But Anthony does something that like I didn't know was annoying to me until like semi recently, and now it makes me want to like rip my skin off. And it's that when he's like really hungry or he's really enjoying something, he'll make sounds while he's eating. Yeah, we're like
Ew.
and I'm like, oh. And I'm like in the other room, just like I hate it. Oh, I hate it.
Oh, I hate it too.
I
haven't
might
even
do that.
heard it.
I don't know.
He does do that.
Do that.
He does do
You
that.
very quietly, but like
I might
purposefully crunch. This bitch loves to eat like a dry sleeve of crackers. Like a saltine sleeve
true.
with nothing. She'll just sit there and go.
I'm the same way with saltines.
She looks
man.
like
They're
a
so
rabbit.
good.
She
They're
does
good.
it.
So
It's
good.
hilarious. She'll just like. It's adorable.
I'm utilitarian about food. It's got to go in.
Yeah, but I'm always like, do you not care that it's not food? It's just cardboard. She's like, no, this is good. I deserve this.
I deserve this.
Just chunks of it.
That's how she eats it.
I deserve this cardboard.
It's amazing.
That's
amazing.
That would be the title of this episode if I had to title
I
it.
just-
I deserve this.
We're not done yet. Just wait.
Courtney
Exactly.
has some real
We got titles coming.
bangers.
Yeah. Bangers, worst dates. Let's hear them.
I was thinking about my worst date. I don't know. Because also there's the line of when it turns into a relationship and it's less of a date.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's more just like a toxic situation.
We'll take bad relationships too. We'll
I've
take
had
'em.
loads of those. So I went on a MySpace date.
Perfect.
This was last year. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is right after high school.
Okay, so first of all, I want to know
What was the wallpaper?
I want to know what your MySpace page looked like because mine was Regina Spektor themed. And Fidelity played as soon as you opened the page.
That
the
is
most
so
annoying
funny.
thing possible.
Oh, no.
I learned how to code so that I could put in quotes and shit. It was great.
I definitely spent too much time on my profile. I wish I could recover that at this point. But
I actually emailed MySpace because I was just like, in a fit of like embarrassment, I deleted my MySpace, like hard delete.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
I later on was just like, oh man, I really wish I could like take a glimpse back through time and look at that.
Have those pictures.
Who's my top 12 or whatever?
I emailed them and they were like, no, there's nothing we can do.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I would have just replied with an LOL.
Like lols with a Z at the end.
Definitely not gonna happen.
No, that would be nice for writing and stuff to be able to look at what a just disaster
Yeah.
that was.
Oh,
My
I know.
MySpace name was Dr. Panties.
Awesome.
And my picture was a guy with a really big beard.
You were much cooler than
all
I
I
was.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember my song was "That's So LA." That was my song.
Oh,
you remember
do
that
the
song?
Jane Fonda. That was the song. Do you guys remember that artist?
No.
Do you know what you're talking
I
about? But I
s-
can't remember.
He was a MySpace artist. Anyway, I was living in Minneapolis for a little bit after college, and I messaged with this guy, and my standards were kind of low. I don't know what I...
Sounds right.
But then we met up and we drove around for a little bit.
That sounds
And-
like a Midwest date for
Yes.
sure. Like
I
they
was
pick
like,
you
oh
up,
my
you
god,
just
was he trying to murder you?
drive back roads is like the way that honestly, it's amazing that we weren't murdered because
I
like
know.
so many back roads dates.
Yeah, he was aggressive for no
Midwest.
reason. Nice messages, but then when I met him, I was like, oh
a different
my,
vibe.
sir.
Oh, that's so awkward.
And then we went to a bar, and I didn't really drink at the time, so it was just a bad scene. And then I met up with a guy on MySpace that I was trying to buy Adderall from, and I
Nice.
did want to fuck him for a long time, but I just would buy Adderall from him. And then later he wanted to fuck me, and I was like, listen, I don't do Adderall.
You're like, I'm not on Adderall anymore. Not interested.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
So wait, without the Adderall, you did not want to fuck him?
Well, then I started to see how sad, like he was hot to me for a while, and then as
Was he like bad boy hot, and then you stopped
Yes.
being addicted, and you're like, oh, I no longer want.
yeah, and then I became a little more self-aware, and I was like, oh,
I have standards
actually, yeah, I can see all these other things that are wrong.
Yeah, an Adderall salesman isn't
I know,
quite
right?
the career choice.
Yeah.
That I would,
Those
Yeah,
guys
pick.
really have like about a 3 to 5 year like fuckability window,
Right.
Like where you're just like that. They probably get a lot of ass for like 3 to 5 years, and then after that, like everyone's like, no, thank you.
Yes. Also, he made a film. He made
Oh,
this
no, no,
feature
no.
film. No, that was good. That was, good-ish. Or
You called it a film. I'm like, wow.
I like that you walked it back. You're like, it's goodish. It's
presentable. You know what I mean? Where
It's
Right,
better
I do.
than an Adderall salesman. Yes.
You're like, maybe he has potential. Okay.
So that
see,
was
I'm
that
not-
was what I
yeah.
knew about him first, and then over the years, this was seriously went on for like 5 years. Oh my god! Then over the years, I was like, oh, he hasn't made another film. He's just selling me Adderall now. Like he's not a filmmaker. He just was one time.
I love that even in the throes of your Adderall addiction, your standard was that he had to be an artist.
Deal breakers. I think we found it.
Yeah. She's like, well, if you've not made a feature in your drug dealing business,
One feature
I am
every
no
5
longer
years.
Interested.
You're like, no shorts count.
That's hilarious. I did think it was a good idea to date artists for a long time, and now I think,
Yep.
maybe
Same.
not.
Same.
It's the early 20s versus like the late 20s, 30s
Yeah.
where you're like,
Pick a man with a real job. I'll be the artist.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm not really looking for a partner, more of a patron. I actually remembered that I did have a bad date one time.
Let's hear it.
This is in high school.
Nice.
Even better.
I love
Even
high
better.
I love a high school story. Yeah.
Sorry, this has to go so long back, but that's where I'm at. So I dated this guy when I was in high school that I met at my Baskin Robbins job.
Nice.
And he was an ex-con. And
When you were in high school?
yeah, he was like 21. And
Oh, no.
He'd already been arrested for passing a fake 20 at a Jack in the Box in Arizona. And
So much to unpack
also,
there. Love it.
I think aggravated assault.
All right, well,
or
it got
assault
dark.
with a deadly weapon, one of those two. I can't remember.
Escalated really quickly.
Yeah, I know, right? So pretty fun that he worked at an ice cream shop. So I was like
And can't
16.
vote.
He was like 21 more, maybe something like that. So, just appropriate. And he lived with his uncle, which you would expect.
Yeah.
And
His parents were like, we don't want him in the house.
yeah, I mean, he was from Arizona, so I don't think Arizona explains a lot of this. Truly.
Don't edit that. Don't edit that. That's truth.
So yeah, and then I guess we started hooking up, which was like pretty new to me.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
16.
And I was like, wow, like this is pretty cool. I like a bad boy, and
Yeah.
he's pretty
And you're
bad.
like, I'm adult now. Look
And then we were going to go on a proper date rather than just like hook up at on his uncle's couch while listening to Sublime.
No. Oh, it's so dark.
I think I dated this guy too.
Dude,
Oh my God.
did he have green eyes and black hair and wear bandanas?
I mean,
Doy.
16-year-old me is like hot, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he also sell weed on the side?
No, I wish.
Okay.
That would have been way better. If he also had
Danny.
a side job.
Not
But he's
just
like
the ice
definitely
cream
like,
money.
like beater all the time,
Yeah.
like that guy.
Yeah.
So he took me to the Blair Witch Project.
Of course he did.
And it was like a Saturday night like date.
Yeah.
Date. I was like, this is like crazy. This is my first date.
Aww.
And so we go, and I'm like a normal person trying to sit in the middle of the theater to watch the fucking Blair Witch Project. And he's like, no, we sit in the back row.
Oh, no.
And I didn't know. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. And then we sit in the back row, and like he starts like making out with me, and I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like the back row is dope. Like I'm doing it. I'm out here,
Yeah.
I'm a sexual being. This is great. And then so this is before the movie starts.
Okay.
And then a guy walks in, and
A security guy?
no, a guy that's just there to watch a movie. And he goes past us, like moves past our seats and sits like a couple seats away.
I
And then-
hate that.
My boyfriend goes, excuse me, bruh.
No.
And the guy goes, what? And he's like, you can't sit there. And he's like, I can sit wherever I want. It's a movie theater.
Oh, I'm feeling so tense.
feeling
I'm
a
like
fight.
sweaty
My
right now.
guy's like, nah, dude, I'm here with my girl, and like, you're like fucking ruining our vibe,
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck are you saying? Please don't talk to me. Like, you're crazy. I'm just gonna keep sitting here and watch the movie. That is not what my man wanted to hear.
Oh no.
So he jumps up on this dude and starts beating the shit out of him.
Oh my God.
So now I'm like, oh, so many things are new to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this is happening. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to do. Then they call like the theater people to like help, and they're like fucking teenage ushers or whatever.
Yeah, of
Like, what are
course.
they gonna
You
do?
go to high school with them. You're like, hey, Bobby.
Yeah. I mean, they're like in their 20s. They're not. So they're coming out there, and then my man sees them, and he remembers that he has priors, and is like, oh no, I am an ex-con. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then tells me, goes, run through the exit. That's the emergency exit by the screen.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what the fuck is happening. I start running. We run out of the theater, out of that emergency exit.
Yeah.
We're literally running. This was in Santa Monica before this theater got turned into like whatever it is. Like this like Wilshire and like Euclid, something like that in Santa Monica. We're running. I'm like, I don't just following him.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm wearing platform boots.
I was about to say, like, what was the shoe
and then
situation?
we get to the alley, and then he starts climbing this chain link fence, and he's
Get
like,
the
come
fuck
on,
outta
and
here.
he jumps it, and I'm trying to climb
I'm
it
sorry.
with my rounded boot platform
No.
shoes.
Oh my God. Are we
and
on
they're just sliding down.
Are they after you?
No, because they're not going to chase.
Yeah.
They work at the movie theater. They're not like, I'm going to pursue the suspect.
They're like,
my job is
In
to make
pursuit.
sure this guy gets to see the Blair Witch Project.
I don't know though, man. Like maybe there was just one cinema employee who
Yeah,
was like,
who
"This
just
is my moment."
really-
like, yes.
Just a dogged
This is what we
fucking
play for.
dude. Yeah, so I'm like trying to climb, but my little shoes like are just so rounded toes they slip off. So
Do you
he
know
just
how mad I would
goes.
be
Then I turn around. There's cops behind me.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, what? Okay. So he was already gone. He jumped the
He
fence. Yeah. And I'm just like walking out of this alley into the street, and like the cops are like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm walking home. And this is when there was a curfew.
Yeah.
You can't be out on the street past a certain
If you're
time
underage.
if you're underage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, how old are you? And they're like, you're breaking curfew. You're not allowed to be here. And then they're like, are you okay? What's on your neck? And I have the biggest hickeys you have ever seen. My whole neck just looks like someone hit me.
no.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then they're like pointing at my neck, and I was like, oh no. I was like, no, I'm good. And at this point, they're like, we have to get you home. We're not allowed to leave you on the street. And I was like, you cannot bring me home. Like, if my Russian mom opens the door to see cops there, I'm like, my life is over. I'm
Right.
like, you cannot. They're like, we by law are required to walk you to your fucking house.
No.
And I go, please don't.
just be chill. Can you drop me off at the corner?
I was like, just you can watch me walk in. Just like, please don't. And they're like, this is the law. Get in the back seat. I get in the back seat of the cop car. They fucking drive me 2 blocks to my mom's, or like 3. It's so close.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, this is going to be so fucked up. So our apartment is on the 2nd floor. The cops walk up with me. At this point, it's like late. It's like midnight or whatever.
no.
My mom's like definitely way asleep, right?
Right.
So I knock on the door.
On your own door.
On my own door, because I'm not allowed to just open it and walk in. They like have to hand me off to an adult.
Oh,
so
no.
I knock on the door, and my mom, I can hear her in Russian. She's like, do you not have your fucking key? And she's like, Matt, she's asleep. You know, we're in a 1-bedroom. She's sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, no, I have my key. I'm like, you have to come to the door. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm sleeping. You're like interrupting me. And I'm like, you have to come to the door because the cops are here. And she's like, please stop fucking around and just come inside and go to bed. And I'm like,
Okay.
I am serious. The cops are here.
I want nothing more than to come inside and go to bed.
And I'm just, and she comes to the door, and she sees 2 cops there, and she's like, oh my God. And they're like, ma'am, we found your daughter wandering outside past curfew. Like, that's not allowed. And she was like, I walk in, she's like, go to the other room, go to fucking bed. Like, I don't want to see you or talk to you.
oh, God. The
And
worst.
I'm like, tomorrow's going to be really shitty.
Yeah.
So I get to my room, I'm trying to go to bed. I hear something at the window.
This
No.
piece of
Floor.
shit.
No.
I'm
no.
like, what is happening? I hear someone screaming my name. I'm like, what is happening? I go to the window.
Your mom's about to murder both of you.
This fucking guy is standing there throwing stones at my window screaming, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're going to get me
murdered.
In more trouble than I already am. Dude, my neighbor from downstairs that is always mad at us and calls the cops at us for domestic fucking disturbances because me and my mom yell a lot. He starts yelling and going, hey, what the fuck is going on? Who is this person? Like, I'm about to call the cops. I'm like, the cops were just here.
No
Please
more cops.
Don't call the
And then I literally,
cops.
and the window is like one of those where you have to do the circular motion with the little handle to
Wind
open
it open, yeah.
So I'm like winding the window open and I'm like, please, you have to leave. I'm you have to leave. This is so fucked up. Like, you're going to get me in so much trouble. And he's like totally drunk.
You're like,
And he's
motherfucker,
like,
I'm 16. You forgot?
Yeah, and he's like, I love you. Just fucking crazy drunk shit. I was like, you have to leave. And so he finally leaves. And that's my worst date.
Dude.
Bravo.
That was an epic worst date story. Oh, wow. Your first date, worst date. Oh.
Yeah, and I've literally had like only one more.
That's beautiful.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I have had somebody throw rocks at my window screaming, I love you, drunk as well. I think we're the same person.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. It's like a rite of passage.
My mom had that. I never had that happen to me. Now I'm feeling gypped about it. But
do you want me to come to your house?
I know, like, yeah, if you would
Tonight,
yes,
just
please do.
toss some rocks up.
But my mom had that
Keegan.
story. She had someone do that same thing. He was like in his early 20s. She was like in her teens, and it was like snowing in Indiana, and he like came drunkenly and was like throwing stuff at her window. And then she's like, I'm not coming out. Like, I'm not coming out. And then he dropped his keys in the snow and then he couldn't find them, so he couldn't leave because it was like it snowed over where his keys were, so she like had to let him
makes shit
inside.
so much harder.
Everything.
Really
Amen.
does. God, that was an epic worst date story. Wow.
I can't remember if there
Layers.
was a time where I was also drunk on Jack Daniels and threw up on my own feet in flip-flops. I'm not sure if that happened before we went to Blair Witch or if that was like a separate time.
Wonderful.
With the
I'm
same
for
guy?
sure- yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yes, clearly, yes,
Yeah.
obviously.
Beautiful.
You're
Same
like,
dude.
I love
I
trash.
was like,
Was that the end
Clearly?
of the quote unquote relationship, that rock date?
probably not, because I'm an insane person.
Well, because you were 16.
I love trash.
Yeah,
Right.
And
I
like,
really don't remember. And also, like, I went to a private Jewish school, and I always felt really out of place there because I was like a scholarship kid, and just being outside and being around other people who weren't there, I think, was just such an attraction in itself.
Yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, someone who's like like he works with me.
and
Right.
he's older.
He's older, and
sh-
that's romantic when you're like,
yeah, when
young.
you're 16,
Real.
it's not until you like get in like your mid
oh,
to
he's a
late
predator.
20s that you're like, that was a predator, actually.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, totally.
I had a movie theater situation as well with a boy who became my boyfriend. But one of our first dates, we went to the movie theater and we did not sit in the back row. We sat in probably the middle, I think. And I blew him.
I've always wanted to do that.
in the middle.
Alanis Morissette at this dude?
I blew him. What's the trucker movie that Steve Zahn was in that was like a horror film?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Shit, yeah.
No.
The trucker was the bad guy.
And he was
Spoiler
following
alert.
him, and it was like on a CB or
yeah,
something. Like
yeah.
they were on a
I
radio.
think it was that movie.
Wait. You're talking about the Robert Rodriguez movie? It's the Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez double feature.
No,
No, that's Death Proof.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Death Proof.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not-
No. Way shittier.
No, it was like something about like, oh shit.
It was it was Steve Zahn
We do
and
have
then
Google,
a
but-
hotter actor and then a girl, and then there was this truck,
and they
a
were in
bad
a
truck.
car, and they were on a road trip.
Yeah, I just feel like that's kind of perfect.
That's so funny.
You know the time. If you're our age,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know about when that happened. But
know. I
we sat in the middle. I blew this guy, and then I get up to go to the bathroom at the end of the movie.
to gently like spill
'Cause I was
the
like-
cum out of your mouth. And
Oh no! There was
or
someone.
did you swallow for this douche?
Oh, I swallowed. You don't
my
have
God.
a choice in the movie theater.
I would
Oh,
just
I
put it on
mean-
the floor.
And you just
It's
It's not your house.
I also
Anyway.
don't make a habit of swallowing, but I think I did on
Yeah,
this.
spit
on
it
this-
into a, like empty, like Coke.
I know. I don't even know.
Cup.
He probably didn't buy me popcorn.
Wow, rude. Oh my God, so rude. You're
I-
worth popcorn.
I know
are
I'm
worth
worth popcorn.
popcorn.
I figured it out by now. But I went to the bathroom after. There was someone, an older person, definitely sitting right behind us. And I go to the bathroom and I find out that is my first grade teacher,
Winner, chicken dinner.
Whoa.
There you go.
Mrs. McKinney.
No. And she's like, I always wanted to see where you ended up. And she's like, oh.
She for sure saw me.
I die.
I have to say though, brave for you to
I die.
give head in the middle of a theater.
I did not go home and reassess what was going on in my life and say, you know what, maybe just press pause with this guy.
No.
See if there's something better for you out there. No.
The best story I have ever heard. I cannot believe you've never told me.
That's
that your
fantastic.
first grade teacher saw you blow a guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
During a Steve Zahn movie.
By the way, it's called Joyride with Paul Walker.
Joyride. Paul Walker was the hotter guy. Yes.
R.I.P. you guys.
And
R.I.P. I
Lily
know.
Sobieski.
He's
Oh, I love Lily
Oh, yeah.
Sobieski.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so mad she stopped acting.
She was in.
She doesn't want to, and that I get it.
mean,
And she
good for
doesn't
you.
need to,
I love
but
you.
I loved her. Yeah.
She was in literally every movie for that
In
2
the
or 3
90s,
years
yeah.
period.
She had that
Like,
really
she's
great
really
bowl
on.
cut whenever she played Joan of Arc in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Which I have vivid memories of for some reason. I watched it like 3 times. I don't know why.
Amazing.
God, I haven't thought about her in a while. So thank you
right?
guys for that.
No, it feels good.
Speaking
Feels
of,
that 90s scratch.
throwbacks, let's do a
Wait,
fuck,
wait,
marry,
wait.
kill.
Can I tell my very worst day?
Yes.
shit. Yeah, that wasn't even-
yeah.
So I just want to preface this by saying this was around the time I got an abortion, so I was at a very low point. So
no, I
feel like
completely get
all
it.
this is very justified. Not with this guy. It was with the ex-boyfriend who I blew. This is years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I was doing these real estate and wealth expos. Donald Trump was one of the keynote speakers. The Learning Annex was putting these on. They would spend a bunch of money promoting them, and
So
then
dark
people would
times.
come. Dark times.
Yeah.
I was doing like sales. I went. I
sorry.
did one in LA, and then they were like, "Do you want to go on the tour?" So I like did one in San Diego. I did one in New York. I did one in Chicago, and this was the New York one. It was probably a Boston. This was a couple in. There was this older sales guy from San Diego who was in his 40s.
Never good. Never a good
Guy's
sign.
a bad start.
Yeah.
Leathery skin.
Yeah, because he's from San Diego, so
Yeah.
he's just been sitting out on the beach for
Always
like 25
smiles.
years.
He's been
Chiclet,
Yeah.
chiclet teeth.
No,
Always-
he's got
he's a
biting
pointer.
teeth.
He
Oh
points.
God.
He like,
Oh, no.
and I sort of understand how I could maybe find him hot just in a really weird, but it wasn't right.
Like a daddy.
in a daddy issues kind of a way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't right.
It
It's just
wasn't
like-
right. So yeah, he tried to meet up with me in Minneapolis. He had a thing for me for a while.
I need
So-
to know. I'm sorry, just for like my own visual, like
Were you like Richard Gere?
hair. I want to know, like
Blonde.
sun in. Did it look like it was like sun
sun
in?
in, but there was some silver.
Okay, like
mixed in.
all right, like
Oh,
silver
perfect for daddy
temples.
issues.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he was
okay.
probably
perfect.
at least mid 40s, and I was 22 at the time.
Great. This sounds good.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. This one's gonna be
Yeah.
good.
Perfect.
So,
Ripe for the praying.
so this is after. So I did a bunch of. I did 3 of these expos over the course of this month where I found out I was pregnant and then got an abortion. So these were horrible. These were like, I would fly out and be like, okay, I'm getting an abortion on Tuesday. Okay.
Oh no.
It was horrible. And I also knew that was what was going to happen. So it wasn't like I was not drinking or, whatever. I was just like, well, I'm going to keep living my life.
Fuck it.
So
Yo.
I had my manager at this job had witnessed me the night before saying, because I met up with an old friend and we did a bunch of coke, and he quoted me the next day as saying, yeah, I ran into you last night and you said I'm so good at doing drugs. I was like, oh my God. So
Well, you could be better. You could tell people you're not doing drugs.
So this is the last night of the New York thing. We were at some place called like the Cat Scratch Club or something.
God,
this was
oh
our
no.
send-off event. And in front of everyone that I'd worked with for the past couple months, I straight up rubbed on this guy's cock.
No.
Out in the lounge area of this club. I
Amazing.
gave him an over-the-pants hand job.
Oh my God.
There are grown-up people. I mean, I'm not saying these are the most respectable people, but they are grown-ups with jobs and just people
got
trying to
kids at
live their
home.
lives. And I am there, like, grieving my life choices and rubbing on this guy's, and then I didn't even fuck him afterwards. I really just
Was he
needed to
wearing
do
chinos?
that in front of people or something. I don't know. I
You're
went
like,
to the
I'm
bathroom.
taking the power back.
I just
Your
really
dick is
like. I
mine,
really
sis.
wish we had a camera because the movement of the demonstrating of the rubbing.
I didn't even realize what was going on until I went to the bathroom and I overheard. I was in the stall and I overheard someone being like, "Did you see what was going on out there?" And I was like,
Is there anything worse? There is nothing worse. Let me have my bad behavior and then let me just go
Yeah.
on and live my life. I do not want to hear about the messed up shit
I know.
did.
That's a shame
That is
receipt.
so funny.
But
is
that
the
was
shit
the
that wakes
first
you up in the
moment.
middle of
I
a
know.
night.
I know. It almost sobered me up. I was like, whoa.
You're like, I got this close to going
I think
sober.
they're talking about me.
No, we have a thing on our show.
What if they weren't? What if someone was doing something more outrageous than you just giving that dude an HJ in front of everyone? They're like, no, we were talking about the chick fucking two dudes at the same time. No?
You didn't see that room?
We have a thing on our show that we call shame receipts, and it's exactly that. It's the thing that, like, that weird thing that wakes you up in the middle of the night, like in a cold sweat, where you're just like, because you're like, oh my God, I remembered that I did that thing that was so cringy.
Cassie sleeper.
Okay, I have one more confession. I hate making all these public confessions, but speaking of shame receipts, I was talking about my Adderall days, right? Yeah. So during these Adderall days, I was giving away free. I was like a promotional model, which is where you just represent a brand and give people free shit and try to get them to do stuff. It's so stupid. Yeah. And they sent me down for Northern Tool was the brand. This was in Minneapolis. And they sent me down to South Carolina, someplace like that. Virginia, Lynchburg. Yeah, not a great name.
Weird choice.
Real
The
bad.
one
We really love this one kind of murder.
Yeah. Okay,
Lynchburg.
I'm in Lynchburg. The name's not great, but that's not the point.
Neither here nor
I'm
there.
about to do something even worse. I am just up on Adderall. I'm traveling with this guy that I've been hooking up with.
Perfect.
Even though I think he's gay, like now in retrospect.
Hindsight.
But at the time we were hooking up or actually we started hooking up after this. Okay, so I'm with this guy who's new to me and this other chick. And I stay up in the middle of the night because I'm on Adderall. And I cannot even believe, I was thinking about this yesterday and I was like, I have no way to justify this. The guy is telling me that the girl is telling me that on the last trip she took for this company, she took it with this guy that worked there. And he was telling her all this personal shit about his life and that now he fucks his wife in the ass because her pussy's loose after they had kids and just like crazy shit. He's just really telling her lots of personal shit. And in the car, I was like rocked by that. I was like, damn, I can't even believe it. And also I thought it was kind of funny in a weird, again, I was doing a lot of Adderall.
Yeah.
So I send an email to someone in the company, the head of the company, and I include that fact in the email. I don't even know. I'm too mortified to look up the email in my old account because I'm scared. I'm too scared of what it said.
Oh my God.
All right, here's what you need to do.
I basically somehow reiterated that story. I included that detail that this man had said that about his wife. I don't know why.
How do you include it, though?
Oh, by the way, FYI, I just don't know if you know that John
there's
fucked
no. That's what
Susan
I'm
in his
saying.
ass. And her
There's
ass
no.
out.
I don't know
Was it
why
a
I would
postscript?
send this.
It was like a PS. By the way,
Can I
How
say-
did you work it in the email? That's what I need to know.
I'm probably gonna have to look it up.
Please
Oh
look
my
it up.
God.
Here's the thing.
I'm
Let's
too
look it up.
embarrassed. Do you want me to read it? You look it up and I'll read
That's
it.
exactly right. You don't have to read it. Just find it.
I'm
forward
This is
it.
going to require some sleuthing. I probably have to reopen an old account or something. But
That shit is worth it.
Yes.
I know. I somehow sent an email that included that, and I never went on another trip for that company again.
I can't believe they didn't invite
No,
you
but
back.
they hired me to do local events, which is so weird.
They're
They
like,
were
she-
yeah, we still trust her with people.
Like, you can be a weird bitch at home. Just don't take it on the road.
But who would do that? What?
You are wild and they are wild.
That is my number one shame receipt. That email, wherever it is, I cannot believe
And it went out. It went out.
I sent it in the middle of the night.
And that shit's forever.
That
'Cause,
shit
the
is
internet
forever.
forever. It's
And
like, oh,
I did Adderall for a good 6 or 7 years after that.
wow. Didn't learn your lesson at all.
Let's keep this going. Let's keep this party
working.
going.
That's why I don't do drugs, like, because I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I have a
Oh, I
feeling
did-
I
I did-
can't.
Normally, I feel
wild
like
shit.
I'm pretty much myself, except that.
I mean, I gotta say that email's kind of in character a little bit.
No, Sophia. I would tell you that my
Yes.
coworkers
Yes,
said
yes,
that,
yes.
but of course, who wouldn't? That's crazy
Yeah.
shit to
Yeah,
be telling
no,
your
that's true. That's
coworkers.
true.
Yes.
Well,
That's true.
I've definitely been in drunk states where I think something's really funny, and I think other people will think it's really funny, and then the next day you're like, I shouldn't have shared that information.
When I
like
came
everyone
out
was
of
uncomfortable.
anesthesia, I was kind of. I did not make friends with the doctor. I came to so my fertility doctor's name is Dr. Wang, and I know, and she did my egg retrieval. So when I was coming to, she was like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm Dr. Wang. You remember me?" And I'm like, and I go, "Dr. Wang." I'm like, "Isn't that hilarious that that's your name and you're a fertility doctor?" And she literally just said nothing, paused,
Oh, no.
let it go, and then continued talking as if I had said
She's probably
nothing.
gotten that.
Oh, yeah.
a
No,
few
but
times.
also I was so amused and she was so not, and it was so awkward. And thank God, I hope she's like, that bitch was on drugs.
She
I
knows.
was.
She
Yeah.
They
knows.
rolled me out on a wheelchair, and I was going, they see me rolling, they hate it.
Yes.
That's literally who I was. So they probably knew things were not
On the up and up.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh well, we wanted to close it out with a fuck, marry, kill. We do a fuck, marry, kill on every one of our episodes.
Wait,
Childhood.
can I tell you my shame thing?
Oh my God.
Sure.
totally.
This is really weird, and I not really told anybody about it except for like maybe one or two people.
Oh, bring it in. I'm so excited.
So I had one of my best friends in college, Amy, went for summer to be in Prague, and she let me live at her apartment with my other friend, Drew. And we were living there and, enjoying it. And then I did weird stuff so I have always loved Amy. I think she's like incredible. And I always also thought, I'm like, she's got great style. She's awesome. She left her closet.
Perfect.
Yep.
I started wearing her clothes while she was gone. And
Did you just single white female her like so
this
hard?
gets so much worse. If you think that's the single white female part.
Oh no, you became
You got a
her.
bowl cut?
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, continue. Sorry.
So yeah, I'm just wearing her clothes, right, for like the entire summer. I'm just literally cosplaying as Amy the entire summer. Then, again, this is the really embarrassing part, and I cannot explain it. I find her vibrator.
Sophia, why would you do that?
I don't know. And then I use it. Not just that, I steal it.
Mine's now. This is
Literally,
mine.
she doesn't know this. If she's listening to this right
you
now,
still
she's
have it?
probably, you're a psycho. Well, no, it was like an old school thing. I'm not going to like carry it around for the rest of my life.
Plugged it in the wall.
But
What if you
I'm
did? What if you
sure-
kept it for sentimental reasons? And then it's like,
I'm sure she even asked me if I knew where it was, and I'm positive that I lied.
yeah.
Of course.
And I also had no. It's not like I couldn't get a vibrator.
All right.
Why would you do that? I don't
Also,
know.
she had to have
Maybe
known.
I was weirdly like obsessed or something. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why.
That's
And this
amazing.
is completely shameful. Okay.
I love that.
That's
She
dude.
totally knew that you stole her vibrator.
Yeah.
Though you know that.
She's like, this is a thing that
Eventually
we're just
she
not going to
couldn't-
talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was
exactly.
probably like, the explanation for this is something I never want to hear.
Yes, exactly.
Can we talk about this on a practical level, though? What is the protocol? Can you just never? Because I have sex toys that I would like to get rid of that I don't need.
I don't.
I
think
have
I
Can,
just
can
broke
another? Do you have to throw them away, or can someone else use them?
Well, you can
donate it.
sterilize them and try to give them to a friend if they are not weirded out. But
I
think-
would be weirded out.
But I
Yeah.
think
I
every
wouldn't wanna
person
use-
would be weirded out.
Yeah.
You
That's the
can't
thing.
use it and not think of.
I have
Yeah,
this
oh, yeah.
fucking glass dildo that was a real mistake. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it.
You were just scrolling at 2 a.m. on like
No,
Amazon,
I
and
thought I
you're
was
like,
like, this seems wild.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get this.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
like,
you're
oh
like-
my god, glass doesn't bend. It's so
No.
So,
Why did
yeah.
I think this was a good idea?
Yeah.
This is a huge mistake.
No, I
So if
definitely-
anyone wants
Oh,
a
good
glass
to know.
dildo who's listening to this, it's beautiful. I will send it to you.
Yeah,
That's why
if
you
you
get glass
work it
bowls when
into
I was
your
smoking.
Holler at us. The
Holler at us
Sofiya,
if-
Courtney Kocak, holler at us.
you know what you should do is you should set up one of those like crystal shelves. Like lots of people have like shelves with their crystals, and then just put the dildo in there and see how many people
Like
notice.
it's art?
Yeah, like
Then I'd have to get other crystal.
they're like, what the fuck is that one? That one's
Now
weird.
it's turned
Odd
into a
shape.
fucking assignment. I hate it.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, is that a bowl? No. No.
It's cylindrical. That's strange.
So pretty though. Doesn't matter.
Like by a vase.
Guys, you go back to your podcast.
Beautiful. No, I love it.
Scheduled program.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
Childhood crushes. Who was your like, oh my God, I have a crush on this person. I'm 12 years old. This celebrity.
I would say Leonardo DiCaprio before he became a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had like
Are you talking about
pictures
like
printed
Basketball
out.
Diaries?
No, like
Leo?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, like Titanic.
Romantic.
Like, yeah.
I had that soundtrack. That whole
Yeah.
shit was tight. I loved like the hair falling in his face and his like
Yes.
girl face.
He's real skinny.
I think
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, I'm bisexual. I just don't really know it. But then I knew it because also my crush at this time was Tyra Banks. Oh, because this was like the height of like the
Hot.
Victoria's Secret catalog stuff.
She's like on Sports Illustrated in that
Yes.
bikini.
her
Yeah.
and like Adriana Lima, I would just jerk off to, and I was like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
So I would say Leo and them, but Leo had like printed pictures of and like pasted them on
Yep.
a wall. Like,
Nice.
it was truly pathetic.
I love
love
it.
it.
I had a whole wall of home printed pictures of celebrities too. Like you did it on like a black and white printer.
Yeah, my
cut them
shit
out
was
and
so
taped them.
grainy. It's like really bad,
Pixelated.
quality.
I blew them up in like Microsoft Word so
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I
My
think
mom bought me a tiger beat for that stuff. You just cut that shit out.
Oh yeah, I had a tiger beat. I liked Hanson for a second.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Which
cute.
one?
Yeah, the middle Taylor.
Of course,
middle one, yeah.
Why is it
He
always
had the
that
most
way? Like,
beautiful hair.
with the Jonas
I
Brothers,
only
it's
ever
the same.
like the one that's looks the most like a girl. I'm like,
They
obviously
all
the
looked like
drummer-
girls.
but
They-
the drummer you could have sworn was a girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
The youngest one?
The youngest one.
The
is
youngest
who I like.
one.
I'm so-
He was too young though.
Yeah.
I was the age where the youngest one was the one that I liked because I was just like, he's the closest in age to me. But like, what is it about like Hanson and the Jonas Brothers where like the oldest one is like, you're like, no one has a crush on the oldest one ever. Like, you're like,
Oh, the
no.
oldest Hanson brother is a mess.
Can't really tell the Jonas Brothers apart, and I don't know
The
which
oldest
one.
one
Is which.
it looks different. Like Joe and Nick look like alike.
Brothers.
Which one
Yeah.
is married to the?
The oldest one, I think.
The youngest one is married to Priyanka
Okay,
Chopra.
yeah, I
and
can't
the middle one is married to Sophie.
Yeah, Sansa
really
Stark.
tell them apart.
Okay, I'll show you pictures later.
The oldest one is married to like a New Jersey girl.
just like a normal.
Yeah.
Is the oldest one
normie.
not hot?
No,
no.
no. Neither
Yeah,
is the oldest.
Same with the Hemsworth brothers. The oldest one is, I mean, he's hot
He's
because
hot
he's a
relatively.
Hemsworth, but
Not
not
as
as hot as the younger
Yeah,
two.
I-
It's like the mom's vagina had to warm up. It was
know.
like an ink cartridge.
No,
or
but they
something.
usually say that your first kid is more your first kids are more attractive because
I mean, that's how it worked in my.
that's your only
family.
shot.
Your freshest eggs.
Wait. There's Chris and Liam. Who
and
else
then there's
is-
an older one who's on Westworld.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And
I watched that
he's
show. I
still
don't know
good
what that
looking,
He's
but
yeah, of course he's attractive,
What
but
else
you're
is he
just
in?
like compared to your
just that, I
brothers.
think.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to Google him.
He's famous in Australia. I mean, he's responsible for his brother's careers because he got a job on a soap first.
Like that. Oh my God.
suck
Your
so
ego could.
You open the door, but then you're not in the.
And they're like, no, we just want those two. Actually.
They're like, oh, your ugly brother? Okay. Jesus.
Okay, so let's do Leo DiCaprio, like young Leo, like Titanic Leo, Romeo Juliet
Brad
Leo.
Pitt, though.
Oh my God! Yes.
Are you talking about
And like Thelma and Louise Brad Pitt.
Okay,
and then
we'll do
all the
the
Brad Pitt
vampire.
after.
Fight Club.
Interview with a Vampire.
Do you remember
River
Beautiful.
runs through it even.
Do you remember that promo shoot he did for Rolling Stone during Fight Club where he was wearing like
The
silver dress?
dresses, right?
Oh my
Yes,
God!
yes.
Did you not think that was the hottest thing?
Hot.
So hot. Okay.
Also, Meet Joe Black. Hot enough.
Yes.
Okay, so
I only watched it because of him.
Yeah,
I was like,
that
this
movie wasn't
sucks,
good.
but
Yeah.
you were hot.
and it was long. That movie
Yeah,
was like
it's so
3
long.
hours long. So okay, we'll do old school Brad Pitt. We'll do old school Leo, and we'll do middle Hanson brother. What is his name? Taylor. Okay. All right. Fuck.
I want to.
Kill the Hanson one because I don't care about that. Marrying Brad Pitt seems cool if he's not sober. But now that he's sober, kind of not interested.
But we're going
Also-
for old school. So who he was
so
then?
He's still fucking.
He's still
wild.
fucking around. He's still doing
yeah.
all the Adderall. Yeah.
marry Brad Pitt. Fuck Leo.
All right.
I would say, yeah, you can't marry pubescent Leo. Is that what you said? Oh no, you're gonna fuck him.
Respectable, you know.
Yeah.
Just the sex for me.
Just in and out.
I will also fuck Leo. I will marry Brad Pitt because I will fuck him multiple times.
Yes, exactly.
And
I hear he has a small dick, though. You guys heard that?
no.
That's supposed to be like a really big rumor in the 90s, 2000s.
Or a really
that he has
small
a
rumor.
dick.
who has a small dick?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt?
That's what I've heard. I heard he has like a 3-incher.
No.
Would you tolerate a man who looks like that with a 3-inch dick?
Nah.
I think.
I mean, it doesn't matter if he can fuck. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's
like,
true.
I don't care about the 3-inch.
Sure.
paper.
You can
but
still-
it's like we're fucking and it's not good.
Yes.
Because of the 3-incher.
It's a soft
it
thumb.
changes how
care
they
what you
look.
look like.
Actually, you know what I
It's
mean?
just you want to be satisfied, and it's like if someone was fucking my vagina and they were like, "This does not make me come," I'd be like, "You should probably move on."
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a soft thumb, we're not going to be able to do that.
No, I did. Oh my God. I
soft
didn't
thumb.
even mention this. I've had so many bad dates. In Colombia, when I was going to college, there was a guy who, oh my God, he could shred on the guitar. Oh my God, it was so hot. And I probably normally, he was like kind of small frame, which I was like, that's cool. but
I dated that same person at 19. Yeah. I was
cute.
just like, you can play the guitar. You're like skinny musician hot. I love it.
Yeah, so I liked him, and then I went to hook up with him, and he had a micro penis. I, for a whole night, tried to, with my just 2 fingers, jerk off his tiny penis and put it into my pussy, and I was like, this is so... It's like, I had a tiny pussy. I mean, still do, but back then, it was even tinier.
Courtney, is this story just about how you have a tiny pussy?
I was like 19 or, whatever. And I was trying to fuck this guy and it was not working. And I sadly had to give up the dream with him.
The image of you pinching it, which is your thumb and forefinger.
It was truly
I
mortifying.
chills.
I didn't know. I was like, is it me? And then I was like, I think this is just how big it gets. I don't know.
The only small dick guy I fucked.
But he wasn't trying to go down on me or fix it in any way. That
He's like, this
do
is
know
what you got
I mean?
to
He
work
wasn't
with,
like, I know
honey.
I have a tiny dick, but
But-
I will eat you
Here's
out
the
like
thing,
nobody's
Courtney.
business.
He can shred on the guitar, so he doesn't have to do those things.
Yeah,
Because
you
you're
do.
I
19.
think he knows he has a micro penis.
Yeah.
So he can shred on the
Exactly.
guitar.
Exactly. That's why he does it. And he's just like, I don't care. Because you're 19. I can shred on the guitar.
I think he's like,
Make
yes,
it happen.
the guitar is sex to me because
Yes. The guitar is my dick. Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Sorry. So I would fuck Leo. I would marry Brad Pitt. I would kill myself for that shame story, and I would let that Hanson brother just go with God.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go with God.
Bless up.
It's with the Lord now.
If we're talking about what I would have done at the time, like when these people were popular, I'm going to mix it up and do it that way. Because like what I would have done at the time is I probably would have married that Hanson brother.
Oh, damn,
I was gonna
girl.
guess that.
I probably would have. Again, blondes, blondes in the 90s, I was like, word, I like it. So I probably would have married him. I probably would have fucked Brad Pitt, local boy from Springfield, Missouri. Andy's Brad Pitt. Like, even me as a child, I was like, word.
Looks like now.
The Hanson brother? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit.
Still looks
That
good.
is not right.
He still looks good.
Fine.
Taylor Hanson, huh?
So I'm feeling okay about it. Yeah, I'm feeling okay with my choice. And then I don't know that I would have killed Leo because everyone thought Leo was the shit in the 90s.
Remember, he was like part of the pussy pack and shit.
Yeah, but it's.
whatever
I
it
think
was.
I know too much about Leo now that I'm
Pussy
like,
Brothers?
I wouldn't have. Yeah,
We
what was
could kill
that?
him for just dating the girl that's the same age for year after year after year.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
just
dumping
trade-
them as soon as they turn 25.
like
Also, I don't
leases
think he's
people.
hot anymore.
No.
When he became a man, he stopped being
being
hot.
hot.
To me.
Yeah, when he was
puffy.
androgynous and like,
Yeah,
like
he has like a weird chromag eyebrow now. It's like
He is
not
turning into
great.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
he
Ugh.
is. Yes.
What's the local lore around Brad Pitt in Springfield?
There really isn't any. I mean, honestly, it's annoying. It's like that he's lovely. Like, really. I did a show with his niece at like a local theater
Ooh.
company, Reagan. She was little, like when we did it. His brother and sister-in-law used to come around all the time. Speaking of like, what a bummer. Not that he's a bad looking guy, but like when your brother's Brad Pitt, it's like you're just by comparison,
You just
not
look
as
like
hot
he's a monster.
at all. You look like a potato by comparison.
No matter.
Sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone was just like, they're super nice. The only like lore, and this is not surprising, is that these like Ozark parents, his parents loved Jennifer Aniston and like never, ever, ever accepted Angelina Jolie, like ever. Like they never liked her. They didn't like it when she came to visit, and that was it. That was the only like rumor that ever came around.
I'm so
try that.
fascinated with that entire thing, and I
Yeah.
really wish I could know everything.
I know all the
me
deets,
too.
all the details.
Also, do you think they fucked since? Probably,
know.
right? She's single. They're both single.
Did you see her at the Golden Globes though?
Was she there?
Just like
She was mooning over him.
She was like
She was-
this, watching him. Like
oh,
the
Jen
cutest-
Aniston.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about Angelina. Okay,
no.
yes.
She watched him like she was a cute puppy.
She looked like she was proud of him.
Yeah.
Which I was like, so
that's
Yeah, I
cute,
don't know.
actually.
They
Yeah.
might fuck now.
I hope so.
He has
Hope
a
so.
3-inch dick, you guys.
I want to say no.
I'm not signing up for it. I
Yo,
say no.
people who
How
know
tall-
about his dick, holler at us.
I know. How tall is he?
think
Do we
he's
know?
Don't
like
know.
5'10", 5'11", I think.
That's what I want to say too.
Yeah.
Is like,
I'm not buying the 3 inches,
Yeah, I'm not
man.
either.
I think
I
it's
just he doesn't
proportional.
act like he has a 3-inch dick. There's
Yeah.
no part
He's
of
got
him
big
that
dick
seems
energy,
like
yeah.
he does have big dick energy.
listen, guys.
But with a face
I will
like that,
fall on
do
my
you need
sword.
it?
I'll go figure it out for you.
Okay, great.
Don't worry about it.
Let's do the research.
I'll report back.
Okay. I am the same as Sophia, same across the board. I'm going to kill Taylor, marry Brad, fuck Leo. Yeah.
Nice.
Seems simple. I like it. Clean.
Going back in time, I think I would do the same as Keegan. I'd marry. And good to know that it works out for us. That he,
I know. Oh my
he
God.
grows up
He
like
dodged
that.
a bullet.
Yeah, exactly. I never liked Leo either. It was not my crush back then. So I'll kill him. But one magical night with Brad Pitt.
B-Rad.
With
Yeah,
B-Rad.
I don't think I can date. I don't think I can like marry someone that beautiful.
I can't.
Because
I
I'm
don't
just
have
like
the
my
self-esteem for it.
It doesn't. The way
It's pretty easy. Yeah. People are always like, something's wrong inside.
something's broken. They're like broken.
I've dated definitely a guy that was insanely hot, and he had so many insecurities and so much stuff. But people would stop him on the street and tell him he should model. This
Wow.
motherfucker
God
was
damn.
so messed up inside.
Well, that makes that marriage even harder.
People can have sadness too.
I know. I mean, I
love that you
struggle
really
with
celebrate it. You're like, oh, hot people, they suck. I'm not intimidated.
No. I'm just saying. I think we always assume that hot people have
Yeah.
the easiest life ever just because they're hot, but that's not how that works.
I just watched a video where Goldie Hawn was like, "Oh, my mouth is too big, my da da da," and I'm like, "Bitch, please, you are like perfection on a platter." Like,
Well, that's everybody though.
But it's so true.
Like
It
that's
is
everyone.
everybody.
You
It's
always
not-
put yourself under a
Everybody's
microscope, and everybody is like,
Yeah.
people can think that you're the most beautiful person in the world, but you won't think that.
yeah, I have an astoundingly high amount of self-esteem for how unastounding I am.
You're a total hottie.
You're like, I know.
Narcissism.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming
Yes,
out.
thank
and
you.
sharing
for
with
having
us.
us.
It's been a blast.
Where can everybody find you, follow,
Listen,
see
all the
you,
things.
all that stuff?
Check out Private Parts Unknown. Definitely. We are about to go to Tokyo, our Mexico City and Helsinki eps. I am really proud of. Yeah. And then, I'm at Courtney Kocak on Instagram and Twitter.
That's Kocak, you guys.
Thank you, girl.
She got you.
And I am Sofiya Alexandra, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Sofiya, Sofiya.
Awesome.
Yay.
Well,
I'm mortified, can I just say, by how much we revealed on this
Seriously,
podcast.
this is the most revealing we've ever been on.
I love
you go
it.
home and you're driving home tonight and you're like, you know what? I really
regret this.
Yeah. Total regrets. Just email us and we will we'll edit out whatever you don't want.
stitching stuff
But I love it.
We'll probably lead with our shame on this. We're good.
I love it that you felt
stuff I expose, the lighter I feel.
Yeah,
it is,
absolutely.
It is really nice and affirming.
Then no one can ever say anything that would make you feel embarrassed.
It's
'cause
free.
You've already been like, this is me,
I'm a
dog.
mess.
I'm a weird single white female. I will steal your vibrator for no reason.
it makes me
Come
feel
at me,
good
bro.
that you guys felt comfortable enough to share those
Oh, you
things
guys
with
have the best
us.
energy.
Well, cool. This was our first time doing something like this, so we appreciate you guys being our first. Breaking us in. And we hope to do more of these. If you guys have suggestions or podcasts you want us to reach out to, go to myworstatepodcast@gmail.com. And thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.